This is Marvel Age Star Wars. I'm Sean, and I'm here with Brooks.
Hey everybody, it's been
Welcome
a
back to the
minute
show.
again. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
we're getting to our holiday slowdown.
And we were already pretty slow.
Oh yeah, I didn't say the holiday slow. It's to slow down. So,
It's an
however
even
fast we're
slower.
going, we slow down.
We are on
So,
issue 30. So that's
yeah,
pretty good. That's like
yeah,
a
you wouldn't know it that we're slow with the amount of issues that we're covering, especially with
almost a third of
the
the way
occasional
through the
break.
series, I guess.
Yeah,
Less than a fourth.
we may have to take another side step from the series again and do some other weird stuff
Oh yeah,
like comic book strips and things.
I'm down with that.
Or the
I've
annual.
noticed.
We definitely need to do the annual. We've got to be in the
Oh man,
neighborhood of when that first
I
annual came out.
not last week, but the week before we went to the Gulf Coast for a week, and I hit the little comic shop that I go there. Every year we go to the same little beach and get a condo because my mother-in-law's got that's what she does, and we go with her. And I always hit this one comic shop every time we go, and the prices have been getting steadily worse every year. But they had Star Wars Annual One there, and I was like, oh, cool. But it didn't have a price on it, which is always a bad sign. And so I picked up like 4 or 5 Star Wars, books because they had some there, and they were like $4 or $6 a piece. So like, okay. So I took the annual up there. It was in beat up shape, and she straight up looked it up on eBay, which I hate. And she's like,
Yeah.
$15. I'm like, this thing's beat up, man. $15. And I said, no, that's all right.
Plus, eBay's not a street guide. That's not
Yeah,
the same
and
thing.
also like they never pay attention to condition. They don't actually look at sold prices. They look at what people are trying to buy it now with, whatever. But they ended up
Yeah.
not selling. This is a big controversy in the comic world of people that hate unmarked books, unpriced books, and you take them up there and they look them up and they're like, "Well, I'll just buy it off eBay if you're going to give me the eBay price.
For real.
Stay at home." Anyways, so I missed out on picking up the annual number one, but I looked it
Yeah.
up on eBay and I could get it cheaper there. So, or even
There's
just in my
nothing
comic shop.
special. Go to my comic shop. That's where you'll find the only badly priced books you get on there are the consignment ones. The consignment ones are always through the roof because it's some idiot selling his own books. But
Yeah,
my comic
I've
shop
just
always
found
has
that
really good prices on stuff.
I like my comic shop and they grade like conservatively. So if they say something's a mid grade, it's usually higher than what they say. Also, their shipping is good. Also, though,
Yeah.
the problem with the Star Wars is that there's a lot of them they don't have in stock. But that's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
Well, you can watch list it. They have a good feature for that too, where if they do get it, they'll notify you. So it's kind of fun. But
That's
yeah, it's the whole industry is not as fun to follow because people chase after books and make them cost more. They don't make them worth more.
yeah, I'm getting
They do
annoyed.
make them
Like I'm
cost
getting
more.
burned out on collecting lately because things have just gotten so out of hand expensive.
Well, I was just trying to finish out Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and those are ridiculous. Even the
And you
trades are
wouldn't think they would
ridiculous.
be. There's no MCU for that. You know what I mean? It's like the
No,
weirdest things.
it's
Barbie
just things.
comics have taken off from the 90s. I
I
don't
get
get
so
it.
tired of it. And
But
just like I was trying to look up some of these old paperback novels that they did based on like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. Even novelizations, like $200. It's like, you must be at, or you think I'm out of my mind.
everything is collectible in this world now,
But
except
it's
for
prohibitively, it's not even
yeah,
for collectors
it's
anymore. It's for
speculators.
investors. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate
Sucks.
scalpers. I hate speculators. Sorry if you guys out there watching this are scalpers and speculators.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
not
hate
sorry.
you.
If you're a
I
scalper
just
and a
hate the evil
speculator, I'm
things you
not
do.
sorry that we hate that practice, but I would encourage people to collect for fun. I would certainly, if you're a person who's looking to make money, don't invest in collectibles. Invest in real things. There's stuff you can invest your money in that's safer than buying comics and toys.
Yeah,
If that's what
sometimes
you're
I
in
think I
for.
ask myself, like, man, if I'd had $1,000 in the '80s, I could have bought this comic or this comic, and it'd be worth so much now. It's like, or I could have bought Apple stock, and I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah. Or you could have bought crypto like 5 years ago.
Yeah. So,
So
okay, doke.
whatever. If you like unstable markets.
Issue 30. This is interesting only because this is one of the covers I use in the intro to the show. Even if you
That's the only reason it's interesting.
No,
I
I'm
like it
saying
when they do
it's an
Leia
interesting
adventures.
note. It's an interesting note. You may recognize it from the cover, the intro that you probably just saw if you're watching this.
Carmine Infantino always drew really cool stormtroopers.
Kinda. They're so stylized that they don't look
That's what I like
human.
about them.
You know, it's very stylized though. That's true. Trapped in an Imperial stronghold. So last issue was
Vader
um
fought Valence.
Valence and Vader fighting each other, trying to find out where Luke is. And so we didn't see much of Luke or Leia. Where did we last leave them after they?
I think we're still in that transition point where they're fleeing from Yavin for like 30 issues. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
up
the
until
flight from
Empire.
Yavin takes a long time. They really know how to stretch for time on this, knowing that they don't have anywhere to go narratively. It's impressive how well they fill the space.
Well, I want to give props to them here for even though Leia has the same haircut, she's not wearing the dress.
Yeah, full white outfit, of course, but at
But
least yeah,
still, it's those little
it's a step
victories.
up.
Ah, my video is frozen. What the hell, man?
Oh, I don't know.
I give up. I give up on my internet. A princess alone.
Yeah, there's another one written by Archie Goodwin.
Is
He has
that
a
a?
good run with
Is that supposed to be a Y-wing? It's an interesting look, or maybe it's a big ship. That's probably a big ship, not a fighter. That's it, Your Highness. Metalorn. Just one in hundreds of Imperial factory planets. Why are they going to an Imperial factory planet? This seems kind of like they're asking for trouble.
yeah, there's a lot of weird political stuff in those side stories.
Hardly seems the kind of place the Alliance should be sending its best known leader. Perhaps,
Yeah,
Captain.
agreed. Perhaps. Well, what do you want to do?
I typically do Leia, but I don't do an impression at all. I just read it. Perhaps, Captain, that's the reason they decided to send me. Oh, look at this. It's like a big spread.
Yeah, it looks like a Yavin
You
deal
you can
too.
do this, dude. Captain, he's got the cool mustache.
Okay. Well, strategy's not my department, Princess Leia. Long as this old cargo orbiter's clearances. Hold on. Long as this old cargo orbiter's clearances don't get checked too closely, getting in and out shouldn't be a problem.
Captain, is that a subtle way of hinting that the problem will be while I'm there?
Because you're wearing that outfit.
Yeah, good grief,
Is that
dude.
your disguise outfit?
Yeah, cinch your waist a little tighter.
Good Lord, Vampira.
Yeah, for Elvira. Don't you think I can pass as part of the local labor force? Well, it's not much.
No.
I see you. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Well, it's not much like being a senator or a member of the Royal House of Alderaan, but I guess that's not my department either.
There's a chance, Captain, I may be able to bring something here an ordinary spy couldn't.
That's a fact. One thing's sure, Your Highness, whatever you're bringing, odds are these poor folks don't have it.
So these are like just laborers on a imperial
metropolis planet.
The surface of Metalorn is chaos. Shifting gray ash, barren rock, great fiery pits of molten slag. But below that surface is order. Clean, gleaming metal, filtered air, unending artificial light, and the disciplined hand of the Empire. So this city's like underground. Kind of looks like sky there. It's weird.
Yeah, the images don't really.
And they're flying into it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
Also, Ship 114E is now disembarking at junction 20-994.
You, down there, woman, you're violating the work formation.
I guess. Get your kid out of that ash. Tammy, you shouldn't be out here.
Maintain your rank and file on the slideway. You'll be moving again shortly. They have children out here?
Yeah.
For shame, Empire.
Pretty crap. What are you making, sneakers?
Look, Mommy, they left some ground uncovered. I saved seeds from the breakfast fruit. Gonna plant them.
Tammy, you're supposed to be in the learning center. It's only until next week. Then when my work shift is over, we'll have a whole day together. So go back inside before...
I will, Mommy, soon as my garden's planted. They're gonna kill this kid.
That kid's got like some mental problems. Darling, nothing can grow on Metalorn. It's a factory planet. All its resources are drained for industry. When it's all used up, the Empire will move on to another world.
But maybe nothing grows because nobody tries, Mommy. I'm going to give my seed special care and
This is not an approved visitation period, woman. Back to the slideway. Move fast. If I have to report you, you'll lose your free time credits.
at least they're
And
not
you,
shooting the kid.
get to your instruction. He's just kicking mud at him. Get to your instruction unit. And no more of this. Garbage belongs in disposals, not buried on a public thoroughfare. If you want to grow something, request transfer to an agri-planet when you're of age.
And then he shoots him.
A jerk. And then he kills him.
Meanwhile, in one of the highest of the underground city's monolithic towers, it's Baron Tagge. Baron Tagge, the head of the galaxy's most renowned industrial concern, visiting my humble factory world? What an unexpected pleasure.
Pleasure doesn't enter into it, Governor Corwith. My presence on Metalorn amounts to penance. The failure of one tag project against the Rebel Alliance left the Emperor doubting all of them. To reassure him, I'm forced to personally check each one.
You'll gain an easy endorsement here, dear fellow. Thanks to your tag weapons detection system and my own information control program, the rebellion doesn't exist on Metalorn, not even as a rumor.
My system can detect unauthorized arms or explosives brought onto your planet, Governor. That doesn't preclude unarmed spies slipping past normal security.
I like these towers of computers. Yeah. He loves purple technology, blue and purple. And so an occasional one might, my dear Baron. But then what? Sabotage? To do any real damage, they'd have to steal a stormtrooper's weapon. Difficult at best. Since your excellent system also monitors those. So in our regimented society, it is almost impossible to. Sir. Oh, we've a condition read at post 994-203. Some kid is planting seeds. Pulse beat sensors indicate monitored weapon is no longer in authorized hands.
Someone seems to have done the difficult, Corwith. The impossible may not be far behind.
I respect any man that wears a cape.
And a collar. Yeah. I like that.
Meanwhile, on post 994-203, we found the trooper monitor control. Playback of his recording unit indicates he stopped a lone female coming from the docking area for routine questioning. He was about to check an irregularity on her papers when she attacked. The assailant was clever, used adhesive spray from a first aid pack to clog the ventilation system to our man's armor.
Yeah, he couldn't take off the helmet because that's against regulations.
The rebels are insidious, Baron Tagge, turning a harmless item into a weapon to circumvent your detection system.
The quarry has moved into the sublevels, Governor. Heavy equipment there is causing fade on her pulse beat, but we still have a strong monitor fixed on the blaster itself.
Alert all the men it takes. Follow that signal. Instead of arming herself, our little spy will find she's tied a noose to her neck. And the further and faster she runs, the tighter it's going to get.
I like how they're all running the exact wrong way, even though she's in sight.
She's not wearing that outfit anymore, is she? Is that the same outfit?
Hold on. Yes, it's the same outfit.
Hold on. Oh, well, I guess she had a hat on here. And I don't know.
She's not wearing the skull cap.
Okay, what ifs?
I like how she can put that skull cap on and those buns disappear. That's impressive.
They're a permanent fixture. Those sleep and printing sessions on the journey here seem to have worked. I have enough information about Metalorn to keep one step ahead of pursuit. At least until I can.
Halt! This is not an authorized passageway. Get over here before a blaster! How did you?
Ba-bow! By acting while you stormtrooper types are all still talking.
Ba-dow! Yeah, you can talk and shoot at the same time. Watch.
Vazak! Just what I feared. The more I shoot, the quicker I draw them to me. And here comes the bunch that was already following me. Well, I wanted to go forward.
Like, fa-doom, fa-doom.
Now I have no choice.
Into the ash pits.
Oh, I guess she's shooting at a stormtrooper up here. Looks like she's just
She
shooting the
made him
wall.
completely disappear if she did.
And
Like
she jumped down onto this train thing.
he didn't even have his feet left.
Boosh. She's reached the. Oh, you go ahead.
She's reached the ore conveyor. It'll carry her out of the chamber.
Into the smelter.
Yeah, really.
The rebel spy.
Just crazy enough to work.
You can do this guy.
The rebel spy has eluded the pursuit squads, Governor Corwith. Shall I have the conveyor halted?
And cut off the ore flow to the planet's furnaces? Cause a temporary shutdown? That would be doing the Alliance's work for them, you fool. Even my information control couldn't hide something like that. As long as we're monitoring the weapon, she can't escape. Order out more units. Have them converge on the signal. Naturally, all this activity won't go unnoticed by our worker citizens. See that they have a reasonable and false explanation.
Do not be alarmed. This is merely a security test for your protection. Maintain your workstations. This is, I repeat, a test. Monitor indicates she's staying with the ore conveyor, sir. She must intend sabotage to one of the furnaces. But we'll have every available unit waiting to cut her off at Smelter Bay 5.
Excellent. You hear that, Tag? This whole nasty episode is just going to wind up proving that the system still works. Baron?
Yeah, he rushed out earlier. He's been gone a while. when the trouble started.
He's going to go take care of business personally with his lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Odd. He never had the reputation of a man who shied away from trouble. Perhaps that was before his run-in with Darth Vader. Ooh, a tale that is yet to be chronicled. Oh, I can't wait to see that one. Being blinded by a lightsaber, forced to rely on cybervision would make anyone cautious.
I guess maybe we don't have to hear that story now.
We have better things to do than ponder the aristocratic psyche. How does the hunt progress?
The last unit is now in position in Smelter Bay 5, Governor Corwith, and the monitor shows the ore conveyor is speeding the rebel spy straight into their waiting guns.
The next car will be the one. Set all blasters at low level intensity. We want to destroy the woman, not the conveyor. Hit my command.
Those crazy looking guns.
Fire! Bow, 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 bow. What?
Yeah, I guess she didn't have to carry the weapon everywhere.
The
rebel's not in the car.
I only know they didn't just disintegrate her just now.
Yeah, or maybe she's down in the ore. That's not for Carmine Infantino. That's not a very well articulated scene. Like I don't know what's in those.
Yeah, it looks like hay or something.
Yeah.
Or just like maybe it's the inker. So she abandoned the weapon. Now it's clear why the good Baron fled. He must have known his weapon detection system would fail us.
In all fairness, Governor, the system worked. Who would anticipate the Alliance agent using it to decoy us after the blaster instead of her?
Is that supposed to comfort me? The woman's deadly, and there are miles of endless corridors and byways she could have vanished into while we chased the signal from that gun. Find her! If it takes every stormtrooper on Metalorn, find that rebel witch!
Yeah, now we're getting serious.
Again,
just no peripheral vision.
This is some Snake Eyes stuff now.
Yeah, silent inclusion. And Governor Corwith himself will give the full details on this spectacular security test at a later transmission. Now, local reminder, shifts 114E and 111B, you have 9 minutes left on your meal period.
Arn, Harada?
Do I know you, young woman? You're not on my shift.
No, I'm from your past, when you traveled from here to Alderaan to instruct a little girl in galactic history. Leia, Professor Harada. Princess Leia Organa. You're a laborer?
No, we failed completely. Are you trying to get me in trouble? Alderaan is destroyed, obliterated by a meteor storm. Central Information told us that long ago. None of the royal house survived. None!
They lied to you, Professor. I'm here to tell you the truth.
And to enlist him in bringing the rebellion to Metalorn, Princess?
Uh-oh.
Just let sabers out. Yeah.
Didn't see that coming, did you, Leia? You're Baron Tagge.
Yes, since you have most of the area's troopers on a wild goose chase, which happened in space, I guess,
They have
in the
geese in
sub-level.
Metalorn.
Yeah, we have space geese. I thought someone might be waiting when you contacted your old instructor.
How
Or I
could
thought
you
someone should
know?
be waiting. While Imperial Governor Corwith was delighting in Metalorn's weapons detection system, I decided to get a voice print from the recording unit of that stormtrooper you dispatched. Once that was identified from the known enemy's file, it was just a matter of finding which citizen here might have a previous connection to you. Why the Alliance would let its most renowned leader risk her life attempting to recruit some broken, useless former historian eludes me. I'll let you explain that to the Emperor when I deliver you personally.
Since he
Yoicks!
wouldn't wait. Since he wouldn't understand any more than you do, let's not bother with the trip. Oh,
Splat!
food in my
Yeah.
glasses.
My one weakness.
Like, couldn't that lightsaber just like go right through that thing?
I guess it could. It looks like she got past it. Blast you, woman, for that! You'll visit the Emperor as a corpse!
I will take your corpse to the Emperor. Gross, dude.
He'll
But with his
appreciate that.
cyber vision blocked, the threat is easier made than carried out. And even as Tag struggles to clear his lenses of food paste, oh, these poor guys eat food paste. Unseen obstacles appear. What? A chair? Professor Harada kicked the
My
chair
other
into his
weakness.
path. Yeah. Professor Harada kicked the chair into his path. Given the opportunity, the princess moves swiftly to capitalize on it, using the energy shackles meant for her.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Don't stand like unprogrammed droids. An enemy of the Emperor is escaping.
But the Emperor has no enemies. The daily information broadcast assure us of this. Ooh.
Oops.
Whoop. And matters of disobedience are only to be settled by Imperial troopers. Yes, where are the stormtroopers?
Already chasing that witch down a false trail.
Oh,
Move,
she
you
should have known that
miserable
he'd get out with
dolts.
his lightsaber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lightsaber. She should have taken the lightsaber. Clear my way to the nearest exit. That's where she was headed.
The Baron plunges on. The excitement fades. The crowd disperses. Thanks for the cover, young lady. You're very brave to help me.
It was fun.
Is this that same girl from
I
before?
guess it's the same kid, yeah.
It was fun. I understand because sometimes I get in trouble too. Only, aren't you scared with stormtroopers and everyone chasing you? Very. But sometimes when you believe in something enough, you do it anyway. Even if everyone else says it can't, that it's impossible? Maybe especially then. Now I can't stay any longer, sweetheart. May the Force be with you. The Force?
What? Everyone's completely ignorant of the Force in this universe.
Well, these people have been brainwashed and programmed, I guess. And as the rest of Shift 114 and Instruction Unit 51 rush through what's left of their meal period, Leia Organa vanishes into the labyrinth corridors of Metalorn, watched only by a girl named Tammy. We need to see Tammy show up in like the new comics now that she's all grown and stuff.
Yeah, that's some badass bounty hunter who's also a dark Jedi.
Princess Leia Organa, right here in my planet, and she slips through our fingers? I blame you for this, Tag. Keeping her presence secret so you could regain the Emperor's favor by capturing her for yourself.
I blame your governing policies and stupid handling of this whole affair. Neither stance will undo what's happened.
I can at least reassure the Emperor by executing that old man, Arn Harada.
Any retaliation to him is like an admission that you've lied about the rebellion, and that the Empire quakes in fear of it.
But I'm the governor. There must be something I can do.
Yes, you could keep quiet. Now, trouble the Emperor, not trouble the Emperor of Metalorn's citizens with. I can't see this text.
I'm sorry, man.
Yes, you can keep quiet. Not trouble the Emperor or Metalorn's citizens any more than they already are. That's my advice. And even if it's wrong, the nice thing about it is you won't be any worse off than you are now.
Meanwhile, we're safe for now, Your Highness. Those Imperial patrol ships weren't prepared for an old cargo orbiter to have supra light drive. Too bad Baron Tagge ruined the mission before you could talk with Professor Horta. Sorry, Harada. I should have read. You should have read. I'm sorry. I believe the important part of that mission was accomplished, Captain. You can go ahead and grab that guy.
With all respect, Princess Leia, how? Nothing was sabotaged. No resistance force established. What's different about Metalorn now than before you arrived?
You're making the same mistake the Empire does, Captain. There's more to the rebellion than guerrilla warfare. A teacher, a historian like Arn Harada can eventually lead a resistance when it's safe. Not to fight, but to pour sand in the Imperial machine. A blaster isn't constructed right. Transceiver sets get faulty parts. But first, he and others there need to be shown that there was a rebellion, to see that its leaders survive and continue to fight, to give Metalorn what it's been lacking before: hope. And on the Imperial-controlled factory planet left behind, a young girl sneaks away from her instruction unit during play period. A young girl named Tammy. And she's planting seeds. Task accomplished, she sits down and waits for her seeds to grow. Patiently, hopefully. This is kind of a well-written issue, I think. I like that they actually have like a deeper message than just blasting people and stuff. And yet, Tag's still involved, which is cool.
Swinging around with electric glasses. She put he's like an old school nerd. It's like, she broke my glasses. It wasn't fair.
She should have said, what's different about Metalorn now than before you arrived? It's like, well, they're down like 10 stormtroopers. I'm just saying.
Yeah, those add up.
I just murdered like 10 people. But it was war. Had to be done. Next, return to Tatooine. Finally. This is before, of course, the movies have ruined Tatooine by going back to it every time. Back then, I'd be like, oh, cool, Tatooine again.
We always go back to Tatooine.
Yeah, everything happens on that desert planet.
Cool.
All right, that's issue 30. Pretty good.
A show and tell thing. I can show you real quick.
Okay, cool.
While we're here. While we're still getting up to getting our wind back.
What's that guy from Monkey Shines or whatever?
No, this was this was the one on Skeleton Crew. Stephen King. I think they may have used one like this in the Monkey Shines cover, but it was just a regular monkey in the movie. But he's cool. He's vintage and he's in good shape.
Does he bang us? Oh, he does. Wow.
Yeah, watch this. Here's nightmare fuel for you.
Children love these things. What child wouldn't want one of these? Jesus.
Just to be.
We wonder why our
next
parents
to your bed.
We wonder why our parents are so messed up.
That's what I mean. Why is that generation so mean? Those were their toys. Just staring, that dead-eyed, mirthless grin. Just,
God, my camera's frozen again.
Every animal in this house is rightly terrified of that thing.
What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. I mean, it might have been monkey magic. But it has a box, too. Look at that. Full vintage.
That is cool that you have the box. I mean, that's got to be the
present from Megan. These are hard to come by.
Yeah, I mean, who kept boxes back then? Let me unplug my.
Most of those guys are in bad shape, but somebody kept the toy in good shape too. I gotta make sure I take the batteries out. Most of those things are corroded from the inside because of the batteries.
You there?
Ooh, yeah.
I got a little something too.
Oh, cool.
Since we're showing and telling.
It's been a while.
We talked about these on a previous episode, and I found them, so I thought I'd show them off. This is the role-playing game.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the actual book I used, from 9th grade till college. making characters. I see the character sheets are still in the back. Yeah, this is so fun. It was like the character sheets I used to have.
That's cool.
Tongue-tied engineer, smuggler. What's that say?
1987, man. That's what kept it going for a while when there was nothing else.
Retired
Star Wars,
Imperial captain. I loved this thing, man. This to me was so fun.
Oh yeah, and the source book. I've got the source book on the shelf somewhere because the source book
like
actually had the alien names and stuff in it.
There's black and white pictures in it, but I was wondering if these are, because mine's beat up. I was like, I'd like to have a nicer copy. So I was like, man, I'm frozen again.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Hold on. Anyway, like I was saying, my copy's beat up because I used it for years, and I was thinking it'd be fun to get a nicer copy. So I looked on eBay thinking, I hope these aren't expensive and collectible. And they're not really, but they did do a 30th anniversary re-release of this.
That's pretty
like much more recently. And I couldn't find a lot of detail about it to see if it's identical on the inside or if they've got the new rules or whatever. And it's just a cover, but that's kind of neat.
Yeah, this is probably like 10 years ago or so. Some of them, unfortunately, Virgil chewed some of them up.
Just probably the one you have, like the source book.
Yeah, that's the awesome one right there, because that's the one that actually goes through like the lore. That's the basis of the Star Wars universe as we know it, really.
Yeah, it's got the little.
That was like the first official source book that actually wrote down the names of the characters in the cantina, and they're like. Actually, I think that's just the alien race names of the cantina.
Here's the this X-wing superiority fighter. It's got all tales about the fighter ships and who built them. And oh yeah, it's got schematics. Oh Christ! 1 second. This camera situation has got to go. Yeah, it's got schematics.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I had more of these. The only other one I could find is the Imperial source book.
I had that, and Virgil definitely completely destroyed that one.
He was not a fan.
He went through a bad period of chewing up books. It was a dark time for our relationship.
It's like the mobile command base. It's got a lot of neat vehicles and stuff in here that weren't in the movies.
Yeah, and I think some of that stuff is like using concept art.
This guy, I mean, he may have been from concept, but I swear they used this in the prequels. This big thing when the clones.
That source material they started using.
Yeah,
like when they started doing the expanded universe, that was like the source material that Timothy Zahn used, and that stuff rolled into what is now the holocron.
Like I'm having a hard time. It has like the little company that makes the TIE fighters, got a little thing up here. Sinar Fleet Systems.
Yeah, where's Tagco? That's what I'd like to see.
So this stuff is a lot of fun. And I kind of want to go pick up the ones I never got when I was young, if they're
ones are fun.
If they're inexpensive, just because
I'd like to find the module that I bought a copy of the Cloud City module, Escape from Cloud City or something.
Is that when they were paperback, the smaller ones?
Yeah, the modules were just like D&D modules. They were just they were tabloid.
Yeah.
But the original came with a Sabak deck. But
the
like
cards
one, didn't have it in it. So I've never actually seen the Sabak cards that actually came with that module. I'd like to get those. That's fun.
That is cool. I'm actually pleased that they don't seem overly expensive online, because every other thing that I try to collect now is outrageous.
Yeah, and I drop it immediately.
You want to get into something Star Wars that's still cheap? Go buy the Power of the Force 2 toys, the ones in the 90s. Nobody cares about those.
I'll tell you what though, when I first started getting into the expanded universe with the idea of writing a book about it, like before like Disney started making the movies, I just as a lark bought like a Thrawn figure on the card, like when they did those expanded universe figures. I think that's not like super crazy valuable now, but I think that's pretty pricey now, because that was before he was ever in anything.
That's and I think maybe like the Dark Trooper is expensive. There's some.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having Dark Luke from the Dark Empire and the Clone Emperor. I thought about getting those guys because they're just purely weird expanded universe things. But
they did
the rest
some
of the stuff.
I think I tend to go on too long. I'll try to keep this brief. For those of you that are into toys, I think that the Power of the Force 2 line is greatly underestimated in its importance. And it's not just because it brought Star Wars toys back, which it did, and they still continue, but it was the last, in my mind, of the toy lines for Star Wars, action figure wise, that were built to be toys. They weren't built to be, even though they were obviously collectible and they played on that, but they were toys. They had
They were
play
trying to get
sets.
kids
They
to
had,
play with them and
you
stuff.
know, they
Yeah.
were sturdy. They were like, they were good toys, and kids played with them. And sooner or later, I keep thinking, and it, year after year, it never happens. I think those kids are going to get old enough now where they're going to start looking back on the toys they played with, like we do with the Kenner Star Wars guys.
But they're
Or
not
the
going to
or the
care
trans.
about Star Wars toys when they do that, though. They'll look back at stuff we don't care about, probably.
Well, I mean, if they played with them, it's no different than if we played with them,
I don't know.
But
I
it
just think
hasn't happened yet.
I think that's a diminishing return, generation to generation.
Yeah, that may be
Like,
true.
I think that Star Wars is popular enough that it lives on, but I don't think that it's a phenomenon for like little kids all play Star Wars kind of stuff in that same way.
I
It'll be
see the
curious to see when our
toys.
generation dies out how popular Star Wars remains to be at that point.
Yeah, not much, not
When
very.
the
But you never
Ghostbuster
know,
base
man.
is gone, like how many of these big franchises are going to suffer when you don't have us buying a $25 Admiral Thrawn or a Dave Filoni figure? Those fly off the shelves Christmas time for kids. A Dave Filoni action figure. They sell as well as the Happy Hogan doll.
My thing keeps stopping. Anyways, yeah, I look at the toys that are out now, and they just seem real frail and small and junky. And then I look at because in any comic shop you go into will have some Power of the Force guys hanging on the walls for like $5 a piece because there were billions of them. But they're solid, good figures. I think if you're into collecting toys and you don't want to spend a fortune, I think that's a good way to go. I mean, what else can you buy that's anywhere near that old that is not junk?
I still think it's fun to walk through the vintage store, like we got one downtown, and just look for the cheaper like oddities, things that don't have a lot of collectible value, but just they stand out to you. There's still some fun there to me, but
there's tons of 80s stuff.
We're
I'm
preaching
saying, but
our own
once you get to like
thing.
the late 90s to now, there's not a lot. I mean, maybe there's fun stuff I don't know about, but it seems like toys are exclusively for people our age now.
Well, all that premium stuff where it's like a $300 toy is like whatever. If people enjoy that and they legit enjoy it, then I'm glad it's there for them. But that's just not the level of enjoyment that I get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun that there's. You know what? Brooks is going to buy a new camera. It's fun that there's
Christmas
our new computer.
Idea. If anybody's looking,
if you guys are looking to buy,
wondering what to get Brooks. Oh, speaking of that, I got a plug.
Oh, cool. What is that? Is that a book?
My latest book. It's not my newest book because I do have. This is the one I put out a month or two ago.
Oh, I didn't know that you had a new book.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a fiction?
Yes, it's a detective story with a supernatural twist.
Well, that's cool, man.
So it's out there, clear as night. A Jake Eden mystery. It's out there on Amazon.
Well, I will put a link or you put a link in the description, and I'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, I can send you that, and I got a new one that's out in Kindle right now, but I don't want the paperback's not ready yet. But Skookum Ridge just dropped, and it's another little one. It's a little creature feature.
Well, cool, everybody. I wish I could continue, but my camera keeps freezing. So that was issue 30, and
good stuff.
Yeah. Check out our other channels. Well, we got on this channel, we have some TV Ate My Dinner stuff that we might be doing soon. We've got some reviews, not reviews, but
I imagine we'll be talking Mandalorian and Boba Fett to some degree. I don't know if we'll do a week for week or if we'll do a watch along week for week for those.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. We got the watch along gang thing that you guys should check out. Put a link to that in the description.
Yeah, that's a fun one. We did a nice little Halloween for that, and we've got some new stuff coming down the pike for it. We're slowing down. Hopefully we can do a Christmas oriented watch along, like watch Krampus or Elves. That would be a good one. That Dan Haggerty Christmas Horror about evil elves?
I've not seen either of those.
No one's ever seen it. I don't know.
Not even Dan Haggerty.
Those are the ones that are fun to watch, but they don't get a lot of clicks because no one knows what the hell we're talking about.
What was that one? Silent Night, Deadly Night? I remember that was in
That's
the
a good one.
news
That's
when it
classic.
came out. That was
I
like
love
so
that movie.
controversial it made the news.
I remember when I was a kid, people were scared of silent. We could do, and man, there's a bunch of those movies, and they get weird. So we could definitely do one of those.
All right. Well, that's stuff to look forward to. We'll be back soon with issue 31. Back on Tatooine.
We should do a holiday special related thing somehow before
Yeah.
the holidays come around this time. You know,
We
there's
could
all
do
these-
that.
The comics are doing Life Day tie-ins. Galaxy Edge has an official Life Day celebration.
We could
at the
watch it
amusement
and
park.
just do a response, and you can tell us about the history of it and
That'd
stuff.
be an interesting watch along. That might be a good way for some people to consume it because it's relatively unwatchable. in
Yeah,
its
I
raw
wouldn't
form.
recommend actually watching it.
As an oddity, I would recommend it, but if you're wanting to be entertained, I would watch the Lego one on Disney Plus. It's more entertaining.
Yeah, the holiday special is its own beast.
It's wild, man.
But thanks for watching, everybody. We'll get with you soon. My name is Brooks.
I'm Sean.
I'm waving, but you can't see. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe.
Snoop.